In this video, I'm going to show you how we're going to influence metadata using the SDK. In the last video, I showed you how that was done using the AdLizard administration console, and I'm going to use our little SDK tutorial ASP that we've been working on to show you how you can do that as a developer, as a programmer. So I want to just recap here that we had a metadata field in the document called Abacus here that says new cars just arrived. When I go back here to the Visual Web Developer interface, I know that I can now retrieve those documents and find that document if I wish, and all I'm going to do to get to the next part is I'm going to add firstly two things. Firstly, a text box, we'll use that later, and next a button. So I'll put a button on the page here. Okay, so that button can say go. Right. So when this button is clicked, I'm going to want to update that metadata with whatever appears in this field here. But for now, I'm just going to show you how this can be used. So how this button can be used to retrieve metadata. So we saw how we added the metadata. I'm going to paste in here some code that I've taken from somewhere else and then explain it. I need a metadata object here. So whenever we're using objects from the AdLizard library, we need to add them, instantiate them somewhere, and I like to do that here at the top. Metadata, and it's a metadata object. And I also need to connect that to the database, so I do that here. I'm going to do that on load. MD is now connected to the database. Now, using the metadata object, I can retrieve by name any metadata from any object. So this is going to require three parameters, the first being the ID of the object which this metadata is stuck to. So I'm looking for metadata, I'm retrieving it by name from this doc ID. Now, because AdLizard can stick metadata to any item, it then needs to know what kind of item, and using the object constants class, I can say that we're looking for the object type of doc. So it's a doc ID, but the system doesn't know that it's a doc ID until we tell it here that we're looking for a doc. It's then looking for the name, and we know the name to be heading, and that's it. So it'll retrieve that, and I'll comment this here for a tick, and I'll now output response.write the value of the existing value. So I'm going to say md.value dot value. That's it. Okay. So I should also put a line break here. And save. And now when I run my application, I need to stop this. I need to stop this because it's not going to give me a doc ID. What I need to provide is a doc ID. So given that I'm going to select this document from my drop list, I can provide the doc ID from the drop list. So I'll say doc.retrieve, and the retrieve method will require a doc ID as a parameter, and we know that that's going to be in drop list, drop down list 1 dot selected value. And let's see how that goes. Might be one thing I'm forgetting there. Let's see. Yep. So if I find the Abacus doc and hit go, I didn't get anything.